She's not just a name in the crowd, but a force to reckon with. Conquered every obstacle. Conquered every obstacle. Conquered every obstacle to realize the goal.
My name is Rhoda Kingori. I am the co-founder and COO of Zydii. And what we do is we empower organizations to train and skill their teams and do it digitally. So think I have a team in Marsabit, another in Kericho, Kakamega, in Nigeria, Uganda. I need them to get the skills. So they're able to do that through our online channel, through WhatsApp learning, and they have an access to a library of content by African experts and trainers. And we also have the ability to help organizations convert internal knowledge into digital formats for their team. Right? So this is really essential because we lose a lot of money because of unskilled teams, right? So we help bridge that gap, especially because people come from campus, or even sometimes not from campus, so raw, and you take a lot of time and lose a lot of money, customers, a lot of things in your organization that really would have gone seamless if you had empowered and skilled your team. So from 2018 is when we officially started the organization, and that was under, we call it a B2C model, business to consumer. So we thought it'd be the Udemy, well, people used to call us the Udemy of Kenya, where people can come use M-Pesa and get access to different trainings. We had things like parenting and family, winning your baby, what have you. And in 2021, we officially pivoted to B2B, meaning that now we work with organizations because they're still able to access the same people, but organizations have the capacity to pay for it and they have a paid for it. I take life on a day-to-day basis, right? So Zydii is one of, right? Who I am as a human being, my community, my friends, my family. I feel like that's an achievement, right? So having a holistic outlook on it, because life is not one thing. So sometimes it is the most wonderful thing, sometimes it is the most horrible thing, but that's how I would describe it. But it is one of the most, I think, pivotal things I've done in my life. I have the firm belief that knowledge should not stay with one person. And people have so much expertise. We have so many people who are doing extraordinary things, but they're only able to share it within a small ecosystem. Whereas you can reach millions, hundreds of millions, thousands of people with this knowledge that can radically change how they do things. And it's simple things like, for example, we had a company that came in, they just wanted to experiment with two of their people, and they were casuals, the guys who clean the offices. So our content can go all the way from entry level to like C-level in terms of expertise. And after about 3 months, the casuals, they were learning sales, how to communicate, how to close deals, how to engage with the customer. And after that period of time, they got promoted and got a permanent job in the sales team. And I feel like that's the radical power of knowledge. And I think that was one of the main driving forces. The way they say entrepreneurs are made, fall into it, I'm the fall into it category. I never thought I would ever be in entrepreneur spaces. So I think it's a combination of that and personality as well. I've always been very driven. I think if there's one thing my parents taught me is if you're going to do something, you do it 110%, right? No shortcuts, and always being very honest in the work that you do and the effort that you put in. So I think it's a combination. It's environment, it's education, it's community. And those have been the driving forces. And I think biggest of all, faith. So I have a firm belief in Jesus. And faith really drives, because sometimes, life and business can really, it is hazardous. I call it hazardous waters. And having a firm foundation that you can actually stand on and lean on is really critical. So I'd say it's a combination of all of this. My philosophy in life is, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm a very bubbly, positive personality. And that is God-given. Like my dad was the same way. It's genetics, God-given. But I always feel like if you approach life from a sense of wonder, right? So, for example, like you'll be walking outside and you'll notice people are just like on their phones or looking down. But if you actually just look up, right? Look around. Like there's trees, there's birds, there's flowers. There's probably a guy who looks really nice, a lady who looks nice. There's interesting things going on around you. So approach life with a sense of wonder. That's what keeps things fresh. Business is hiccups and solving hiccups. There've been quite a few, I would say. I would say one was everyone. COVID affected everyone. So we are digital. You'd expect us to, as soon as it hit and people started shifting to like pick up and do really excellent business. But I think that was one of our toughest, 6 months or so, because everybody panics and holds on to money and you're doing business. But what happened is now after that really difficult phase, where now we're thinking about how do we pivot our business around, then that's when the successes started coming. So by the end of 2020 towards 2021, we had grown about 300%. So that was a really great one. And then last year, I don't think I've ever experienced such a difficult time in business. It's a repercussion of several things. So the floods, we had some agricultural business worth millions. All money is taken into supporting farmers who have really lost a lot. So it's not on training anymore. So a lot of revenue. Then we had our first mandamanos. We had this year, it happens and business has not shifted. But last year, I think it's because we'd not experienced something like that before. So we really got a hit in terms of the businesses worth closing. We're still able to grow by a few percentages, about 15 to 18%. But it was one of the hardest seasons to do business in. It took a toll mentally, physically, spiritually, all of it. And I feel like if we made it through last year, we can make it through anything. Systems and structures, empowering your team, very important. Because if you have a great team, you have a system and structure, you have a good business. But a good business needs money. So you need to have customers. So we're consistently evolving how we're doing business. So like right now, we're leveraging AI for our sales process that allows us to get to about several hundred organizations that are targeted. We're targeting specifically around training versus having like 20 salespeople on the ground. So we're leveraging a lot of AI, and we always ask ourselves, how can it take us out of business and try and get ahead of that? So it's consistently innovating, have a great team, a great product and solution, and actually do the work to get the customers, because you can have all the rest, but if you don't have customers, you can't stay open. So our battle is always getting more customers. One of the things I missed in terms of what has helped our organization or me as an individual is also people, is building a network and building friendships and just being genuine in how you build relationships. Because sometimes you'll enter rooms not because it is you, it's because of who you know. Not all the time, but I think it's always great to leverage networks and build really positive relationships that are long-term. Yeah.
She's not just a name in the crowd, but a force to reckon with. Conquered every obstacle. Conquered every obstacle. Conquered every obstacle to realize the goal.